Hello, 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 and welcome. Hi, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Hi, how's it going? Hello. Hey guys, how's it going? Thought it would be really fun to get ready together, get to know me, get to know my daily makeup routine if that's something that you are also interested in. So let's get into it. Oh, I hair in my mouth. Before we get into the makeup, I want to talk about skin prep really quickly. I find it really valuable when people share what they're using, so I definitely want to give that to you guys. But I would say these are the 4 products that I grab the most when doing my makeup, just to make sure that I've got a really good hydrated base. So the first thing I do, and I do it maybe in a random order, but it works for me. So this is the Inkey-less Bioactive Ceramide Repairing and Plumping Moisturizer. This stuff is just so thick and I love it, especially because in Utah here it is so dry. So we'll go ahead and start with that. And then I love, this is so funny, but the Trader Joe's Hydrating Eye Cream, amazing. Really hydrating, just a good, like, inexpensive option for underneath the eyes. So we'll do that. And then I've been really liking this Bubble Cosmic Silk. I feel like it's a dupe for the Rhode Glazing Milk, I think is what it's called. But it gives my skin just this really pretty, like, glass effect, which again, all the hydration. And then after I use those 3, I like to prime my skin with the e.l.f. Thirst Burst Drops. I'm on my 2nd bottle now. I just love a dewy base. So wanted to quickly go over skin prep so you knew what I was using. But let's start with just some basic facts. So obviously my name is Lindsay. I am 32 years old. I will be 33 in December. So in like 6 weeks, but who's counting? I'm married. My husband's name is Jamin. We have been married, it'll be 10 years in February, and we met at our church. We are non-denominational Christians. We met at our church in San Diego, and we dated for, I think by the time we got married, we had been dating for a year. So pretty quick, but definitely one of those when you know, you know. In fact, we are 12 and a half years apart. So when we met, I was pretty young. I was still 21 and he was 33 at the time. And so obviously that was a really big adjustment for both of us, I would say. I don't think either of us had ever dated with that big of an age gap, but it just somehow ended up working out. Obviously we had a lot of really great friends around us who just said, you know, go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? You've got everything to gain. And so, yeah, we started dating and just had like the most fun dating. He proposed to me November 12th of 2015, and we were married February of 2016, which will make it almost 10 years. Backstory about how I ended up in San Diego. So I had always wanted to live in San Diego. I had family there, so my dad lived there, my grandma lived there. I grew up every summer just like going and visiting. I was living in LA County at the time, and I've just always wanted to live there. And so basically, it's kind of embarrassing, but when I was 20, I was working at a financial firm in LA and I got fired. And the reason I got fired was literally because I was obnoxious and annoying. For foundation, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I love this stuff. And I just do this with a little Target buffing brush. So yeah, I got fired for being annoying, which is obviously so embarrassing. And I was living with a coworker at the time. And so she was like, you can't live here anymore. And so I packed my bags up and I called my grandma who was living in San Diego and I said, hey, I need a place to live. Would I be able to make the leap and come live with you? She said yes. And so within 24 hours, I was living in San Diego with no job, absolutely no plan whatsoever. I'm gonna be using the Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear Concealer, and I like to use just that same brush. So yeah, ended up in San Diego, and was really grateful that I had my grandma who was able to let me stay with her. I basically just got a job and started over, and was pretty depressed. I had gone through a lot of traumatic stuff in my life, which we'll get into that another day. And I just was like, I need to get my life together. And so I decided to find a really good church in the area. And I actually ended up going to church with a gal who I knew from junior high. And my life just got like radically changed. Met my husband and basically went from being just like crash out crazy party girl to who I am today. For powder, I like to do two different things. So I'll go in with the Morphe, it's the bacon set powder with this little triangle. And then I'm just like a tried and true MAC girl through and through. So this is their mineralized skin finished in medium tan, which was a little dark for me right now, but we won't worry about that. And then just this MAC brush. So yeah, Jamin and I got married and we had such a fun wedding. I will insert a photo here. And he owned a home, so we moved in together, and we since then have owned a couple houses. And that's again another story for another time. I feel like I need to do a whole video on like home ownership because it's freaking crazy. Like if you've ever owned a home, you understand. But yeah, we ended up living in San Diego. Let me see. Math. Yeah, living in San Diego for like 9 years. And then a few years ago, we kind of had this itch to get out of California. We weren't really pumped on living there anymore. It just is not the same as it used to be. And so we started exploring the idea of moving, and we thought we were gonna end up moving to Idaho. We started looking at houses up there. It was like this whole thing. Two different bronzers because your girl loves some bronze. So I go in with this Juvia's Place like double bronzer thing. It's got two different tones, and then I go over that with the Revolution Bronzer Reloaded in shade Long Weekend. It's just like a baked bronzer with this I think it's Patrick Ta. Yeah, this Patrick Ta brush. I love this thing. So yeah, we almost moved to Idaho, which is crazy. We do have a lot of friends up there, but I mean that would have just like not been our thing if we're being honest. And we had talked about moving to Utah a couple years ago, but it never made sense. And I think like when we came and visited back in like 2021, I just got this like weird impression of Utah. And I think I just like came at like a weird time. I don't know. Anyways, we ended up kind of like re-exploring Utah, and I'm so glad we did because we absolutely fell in love with it, and we have been living here a year now. Also a double dipper with blush. I like to start with the Patrick Ta She's Blushing, and then I like to go in with the Milani Baked Blush. This is in Rose de Oro. And again, Patrick Ta brush. His brushes are the best. Look how pretty this shade is, by the way. I obviously love it. And I don't touch the cream, and I couldn't tell you why, but I clearly need to start. So yeah, we moved to Utah a year ago, and we decided we wanted to rent while we figured out where exactly we wanted to buy. And we also had two houses in California, one in San Diego, one in Indio, which if you're not familiar with that area, it's where they do Coachella and Stagecoach. And so we basically were like, we need to sell those before we can buy out here. Okay, for highlight, I've been really liking, it's so faded right now, but the NYX Buttermelt highlighter. So she's real shiny. And I feel like I change what brush I use every single time, but today we're gonna use just this flat powder brush from MAC. So yeah, so we've been renting for the last year, and we are going to be buying a house in June. So I am very excited to take you guys along that process once we get there. But in the meantime, We live in this amazing townhouse that I'm so obsessed with. It's literally brand new construction, and the only reason we need to move is because we live in this neighborhood where everything is a rental. So we don't have the option to buy it, but it truly is amazing. And one of these days, I definitely need to give you guys a house tour. For my brows, so they are microbladed, which I am so grateful I did that. I did that back in 2021 at a place in San Diego. She did such a good job. So I just like to brush them up, and I do tint them. So they are a little tinted right now. But I fill them in with this e.l.f. pencil. It's just their Master Blade Brow Pencil in Dirty Blonde. And then I love a fluffy brow. So the NYX Brow Glue, I'm on my second tube of this. This stuff's amazing. So yeah, we have been loving Utah. It is such a great change from California. I feel like there's so much to do here. We love the outdoors. We also have a dog. His name is Bowie, and he is the love of my life. He's 2 years old, and we adopted him on Halloween 2 years ago. But yeah, we love going on hikes with him. Jamin's really big into snowboarding. I want to learn how to ski, so that is something that I am hoping to pick up this year, and I'm sure I will be vlogging every step of the way of that, because that to me is such a funny that's gonna be a very funny adventure. We are also very into live music, and Salt Lake City is a huge hub for live music, which I'm so grateful for. We just went and saw the band Camino not too long ago. We just got tickets to go see the Midnight in May. I'm sure there will be more shows in between them, but we've gone to several shows since living out here, and I'm just so grateful that Salt Lake City has that city pull where the artists that we love want to come out here, because live music was one of our first dates. Obviously, I have lash extensions, so I just like to go in with a spoolie and brush them through. I have the most amazing lash girl in Utah. I'm so grateful. This is like what keeps me low maintenance. Also, I just cannot find a mascara. I swear I've tried everything, and I think it's because my skin is naturally really oily, but I cannot get mascara to save my life. And I don't even apply bottom mascara because there's no point. So very grateful for lash extensions. I swear this stuff saves my life. I work really early. Gosh, I feel like I just rambled so much about Utah that I didn't even really let you get to know me. So we may need to extend this and do a couple fun facts. But anyways, my point being is I find myself in positions where I have my makeup on from like 5 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night, and I never have to touch it up. And I swear it's because of my skin prep, but also because of this stuff. So if you haven't gotten this yet, this is a constant refill in my makeup bag. I have so much more to tell you guys. So we're gonna curl my hair so you can continue to actually get to know me. Lived in California my entire life. I was born in Valencia, which if you have ever heard of Six Flags Magic Mountain, that was actually my first job, but yeah, that's where I was born. We moved around a lot when I was a kid. My parents never got married, and I actually did not like formally meet my dad until I was 14 due to drug addiction, and I'm happy to say that he is sober now, and we do have a relationship, so that has been completely renewed. But yeah, my mom, she did a great job raising me with the resources that she had. She ended up getting remarried when I was 3, and we moved to Orange County and lived there for a wee bit. And then my stepdad's job just ended up moving us around. He was a service deli bakery manager for Ralph's. So we moved quite a bit, just depending on like the territory that he was overseeing. They ended up having 2 kids together. So I do have a brother and a sister. They got divorced after being married, I believe, for 11 years, which was pretty traumatic for our family. And I think that's when my life just got like a little crazy. I really leaned into partying, drinking, doing drugs, you name it. I was a total wild child. And yeah, went through a lot of trauma, but God is good, and we are on the other side of that now. So that was my childhood. Let's see, fun facts about me. I am obsessed with spicy food. I literally put hot sauce on everything, and I mean everything. I'm a big hobby girl. Like, I love a hobby. I love to stay busy. I'm really into crafting. I am like really into cricketing, painting, candle making, you name it. I have like a whole craft room that I'll have to show you guys sometime. Speaking of crafting, this year I decided to start a trucker hat bar. It's like a custom bar. It's mobile. I do pop-up events, and I let you design hats with iron-on patches, and then I iron them on for you. We do trucker hats and baseball caps, and eventually I would like to add on cowgirl hats. It's like a big thing in Utah, is kind of like this Western vibe, which I am so here for. And we just added, I say we, like it's this big team. It's me, I am we. But yeah, it's been super fun. It's called Crafted Caps if you want to go follow me on Instagram. We're just getting started, but it's gonna be so much fun, and I feel like it is a really good transition away from the career I just left. So in San Diego, I was a bridal makeup artist, and I absolutely loved doing weddings. I was so busy. I worked for myself, and then I ended up starting to work for 2 different agencies, which got me even busier. I was doing like 2 to 3 weddings a weekend, making really good money, having so much fun, but I definitely hit a burnout. So when I moved here, I just thought, oh, I'll get like right back into that. And unfortunately, it just wasn't happening for me. So, that's another fun fact. I've had like over 30 jobs in my life, which I feel like that's not normal. I've worked at Six Flags. I've worked at Ralph's. I've worked at a tanning salon. I've worked at a hair salon. Oh my gosh, what else have I done? Financial offices. I've done admin. I've done data entry. I used to be a go-go dancer, which is a story for another time. And that sounds really, really naughty, and I swear it's not as bad as it sounds, or maybe it is. I don't know. I was on staff for our church for a few years. I've worked in events. I am also a licensed esthetician, and I still do facials out of my basement. I work at Orange Theory. I have worked there for almost a year now. I was a member for 5 years, and then when I moved out here, I was like, oh, I want to like get back into working out. And so I decided to get a job at Orange Theory to pay for a membership, and ended up like falling in love with it. So that is actually my full-time job, and I absolutely love it. I love the social aspect of it. So right now I've got quite a few jobs. Orange Theory, doing facials, my hat bar. I'm quite the extrovert. I love to stay busy. I love to host stuff. I'm always hosting a party. I love to be social. I feel like my husband and I balance each other out really well that way. I'm loud, I'm silly, I think I'm funny sometimes. I love to decorate and clean and organize. So if you are into house resets, I feel like I'm always resetting my house. So I'll definitely be filming some of those for the future as well. Also, I don't think I shared this, but from a day-to-day basis, I will literally just grab any like lip gloss, chapstick. This is just like from a local business. But you probably aren't gonna catch me doing like a full lip routine unless I'm going out. Speaking of hobbies, this is kind of how I got on YouTube. Is I was like, I want something that allows me to just to have this like really fun, free creative outlet where I can show you guys my life. I find it really therapeutic to sit down and edit videos. And so in order to edit videos, I need to film videos. So that is what I'm doing. And who knows where this is gonna go. For now, it's just something I really wanted to do for fun and show you guys into how I do my hair, how I do my makeup, how I reset my house, fashion stuff. I don't know. I feel like I just love to like chat it up and share stuff that I'm doing. And so hopefully you found this entertaining. Hopefully you got to know a little bit about me, even though I went off on 85 different tangents, but honestly, the more you get to know me, the less that will surprise you. So thanks so much for being here. If you would like to see more videos like this, would love if you would subscribe. Until next time, bye.